Elizabeth Yates, good morning to you. How is it going today? Okay. Okay, we're live everywhere. Mr. Tricky, what's up? Am I saying that right, Mr. Tricky? How's it going? How is everyone doing this fine day? We're live everywhere? I think we're good. I'm super green. Do I look green to you guys? Like all the color on the webcam, does it look a little touch green? It's not my shirt or the plant, is it? Maybe it's accurate. Okay, let's pray and get started. Thank you, Mr. Mark, Mr. for redeeming test. That did a lot. That improves the stream tremendously. Lord Jesus, thank you so much for this day. Thank you for the blessing of life. We thank you for your goodness, Lord. I thank you so much for everyone that's on stream right now and for everyone that may join later, Lord. I pray your blessing over them. I pray that they would come to know you as their Savior if they don't already. And Lord, I just thank you so much again for your goodness and just for this opportunity to work on this game. Lord, help me to work well today, to produce work that is excellent and pleasing in your sight and pleasing to my client. And Lord, I just pray your blessing over this time, that it would be a fun stream, that nothing would go wrong, that we wouldn't have any technical difficulties. And Lord, I just hand this time over to you. In your name I pray, amen. Okay, bro's hallucinating that he's the Hulk. Okay. No green mate. Okay, awesome. Cool. That's great. Good, sir. Had to verify myself on Twitch for sending a chat. It's actually chilly this morning when it's usually for end of April. End of April in Florida and it's chilly. Dang, that's crazy. I've been to Florida one time. It was sometime in the summer and I just remember being so hot and sweating the entire time. It is so humid in Florida, or at least when I was there. It was a bit too much for me. So I grew up in Africa where it gets super hot. But the thing about Africa is it's a dry heat, okay? So whatever heat I've ever experienced here in the States is all like a humid heat. And a humid heat is very uncomfortable, okay? A dry heat can be really hot and uncomfortable, but it can be really hot, but it's not uncomfortable. Does that make sense? Like I can be in a dry heat all day long. I love it. I love hot weather when it's dry, but when it's humid, oh, it's so miserable. I can't stand it. Can't stand it. Okay, guys, let's do this. We're connected everywhere. I've got a few updates to show you. So for those that were here last stream, there's definitely some humid heat in the UK. I've been to UK one time, but okay. So last time I streamed a few days ago, we were working on Jetpack mode, okay? I've been working on it some more off stream, and I went a little bit above and beyond with the Jetpack mode, and I'm about to show you guys what that looks like. But what I'm about to show you may or may not make it into the final game. And I say that because my client and I have gone back and forth on the flying in this game and like what we should allow the player to do. And I'll get more into it in a little bit, but let me just show you what I came up with. So what I'm about to show you might be the only time you guys ever get to see it, because my client, essentially what I'm about to show you, I've already shown to my client. I sent him a video. He and I are gonna have a call about it later today. So what you're about to see, you might never see again. So with that said, let me go ahead and show you guys quick, because it might be the last time you ever get to see it. But let me show you guys what I've been working on. What I've been working on off stream real quick. Can you guys see everything? Yep. Okay. So here's the game. You guys have seen this. I showed you guys last time, but just as a refresher, before all we had was this jump. Okay. Even when you were running around and pressing jump, it was doing the same standard jump every time. I was like, hey, we need to add some flips into here because this dude knows martial arts, okay? He's a superhero. He's like a ninja guy, okay? So now when you jump, standing still, same jump. But when you're running around and you jump, he does a flip, which feels really, really good. Feels really solid, feels nice. Standard jump, and then flip jump. And then on top of that, what I did was, if you are further up in the air than just being at ground level and you jump, after you jump and flip, he'll also do a ground roll. Ready? Here we go. and that happens automatically. You don't press jump or anything. So anytime you get like even just a little bit of extra airtime past a normal ground jump, he'll do the ground roll. So if I'm up here, just like I said before, he will do the ground roll. Additionally, you can do a double jump. So if you press jump twice, he'll do that extra flip in midair. Still working through that a little bit. I'm not 100% sold on it yet, but it's like 90% there if we're going to use it. So you'll see there also, because I'm doing a double jump, I'm getting extra airtime, and so then he automatically does the flip roll at the end. So same thing up here. Here, if I'm up here super high and I jump off one jump, boom, he'll automatically do the flip roll, which feels really nice. I like it. It's cool. Okay, so that's all good and done. That'll be in the game. Here's jetpack mode. Okay, jetpack mode. You hold down jump, and then you let go, and you go into this hover mode. Okay, and this was kind of where we left off before on last stream, and I kind of asked you guys, like, how do we make it so that you can hover around but have your thumb freed up to use the weapons while you're in hover mode, and also be able to fly high to get to the first building. So this is what I've worked out, and I forget who it was on last stream that made some suggestions, but I kind of went that route, but also kind of did a few extra things. So this is what I did. So now the way that it works is when you use your joystick, you can hover around and you can move around. So currently this frees up your right thumb. This is a mobile game, guys. So, and my client really wanted the ability to be able to fly around and also use your weapons at the same time. So to use your weapons with your right thumb, you can't be holding down your thumb on the jetpack button to hover. So the way it works is you hold down jump, and that transforms, which that's another thing I added since last stream, was I made the jetpack animation transform thing. So that happens, jetpack appears on your body, you've charged up, and now you let go, and then he jumps up and hovers in the air, which feels really good. So now my right thumb is going to be freed up to use the weapon buttons. And then you use your left thumb to do the joystick to hover around, and you're locked into this vertical height, okay? Which works really nicely. So this is about the extent of where we were going to take things in this game in level 1. My client had mentioned he really wanted Drip to be able to fly, like Superman fly, because that's how he flies in the comic book series and in the cartoon episodes. And so, but I was like, hey, it's a little bit out of sight of scope. Let's save it for level 2. But here's the thing. With me, I'm finding I have a problem in that when I work on stuff like this, I always want to add more. I always want to make it better. And so I was working on the jetpack mode. I really liked how it was feeling. And I was like, I just want to try making him fly. So this is what I've cooked up, guys. I have done this. So now, so a little bit of joystick movement. You've been seeing how I've kind of been holding back a little bit on this joystick movement. You just move it a little bit. He's just hovering around. But then as soon as you start to move it more, he then actually tilts and goes into flight mode. Check that out. It is so fun. It feels so good to be able to fly. Look at that. Thanks for the heart. It means a lot, Bam's Villa. Appreciate it. I'll catch up on chat in like 5 seconds, guys. Every time I say 5 seconds, that means like 1 minute. But so you can actually fly around now. And then if you fly like a little bit fast, he'll fly with like his arms behind him. And then as you increase to full speed, he'll move his both arms in front of him, which is, it's just so fun. Like it feels so, what's the word? Not attractive. What's the word? It feels so satisfying. It feels so satisfying being able to fly like this and fly at full speed and then go. And there's one extra thing too. So you know how before, so in this hover mode, you can also hold down the jump button to increase your height like this. This is something I added since last stream. Forgot to tell you guys. Then when you let go of it, he'll then start descending back down to that default hover height. And that was the question that I had last stream. Like, how should we handle the ascending and descending? Because we have to be able to ascend to get to this first rooftop building to progress in the level. But how in the world do we make that work if the player's constantly hovering at this default hover height? So I worked it out to where if you do hold down jump, that then does make you use your right thumb to hold down the ascend button. That will ascend you higher, and then you let go, and then he'll slowly descend back down. And it feels really good. I feel like I've reached the perfect balance of being able to fly around in jetpack mode while also having your right thumb freed up to be able to use weapons, but then also use your thumb again if you do want to ascend higher or descend lower. So it feels like a really good balance for this game. So then back with the flying thing, as you're flying at full speed, you can then hold down the jump and you'll ascend too. And he'll angle vertically and fly higher. You let go and then he'll descend and fly lower. It feels so good. It feels so good for this mobile game. So yeah, it feels good. So anyway, I'm having a conversation with my client later today about the flying mode. The conversation is probably going to revolve around, hey, do we actually allow full-on flying in level 1, or do we just postpone it and hold it off to release it until level 2? So that's probably going to be the conversation. But it feels really good. It's a lot of fun. And then, as always, from wherever you're at, if you tap jump once, then he will return back to the ground and then land. So that's Jetpack mode, guys, and that's where we're at now. That's where we're at. We'll see where it goes with the conversation with the client, but that's where we're at. But yeah, let me catch up on chat and see where you guys are at, how you're doing. I see the foot planning and the animation is really cool, but the game overall looks like it is a mobile game. Yep, it's a mobile game. Concealed 9. Pretty cool. Thanks, Got Bags. Appreciate it. Slop game. Why do you think it's a slop game? Why do you think that? That's sick. Thanks, Double Media. Means a lot. Make a game? Yes, this is a game for a client of mine. Hey, Superman Day wasn't that long ago. Gotta or some way. Superman has a day? What is Superman Day? Thanks, Bamzilla. Means a lot. Thanks for the follow. React, is that your name? React Max. And thanks for sharing the live. Asgard means a lot. Use elevation while flying left and right. Yes, yep. That's awesome. Yes, this is going to be a paid game. Hopefully not. I'm trying to influence is a bad word. I'm trying to push my client to keeping this game free, making it free. If it's not free, then it'll probably be like one of those 99-cent games, but I'm really trying to push him to keep it free. You can change the label on the button when it fly mode, say flying up or send. Yes, so all these buttons right here, they won't have any text at all. It's gonna be icons. So I wonder, do you guys have any ideas on this? So this jump button, it's kind of doubling as the jump and the jetpack button at the same time. But I guess it would be easier if we left this one text to when we switch between jetpack and jump. But I'm going to, these are just placeholders, right? So eventually I want to make these, I say eventually, I need to do it like within the next few weeks because that's the deadline. All these buttons are going to be icons, like images, pictures. So staff will be pretty straightforward, cannon, shield, punch. But the jump, that's the one I'm having a hard time with, because it needs to be a jump button and a double jump button, but it also needs to be a jetpack button. So if you hold it down, he goes in jetpack mode, you let go. So how do we do that? It can't be like legs. It couldn't be a picture of legs for jumping. And it can't just be a picture of a jetpack because, well, maybe just the icon changes. So when you're on the ground, maybe it's a picture of legs or maybe like an up arrow or something. And then you tap it, it makes sense. And then when you're in the air, then the icon changes from like legs or up arrow to like a jetpack. It's a little confusing though, because if you hold down the jump button, then it will ascend. If you tap it once, it will return to the bottom. So how do you show that in one icon? How do you show that the button does two different things depending on whether you hold it or whether you tap it? I might have actually messed myself up by making the button do multiple things. Because you also can't say, you can't put text in the button that says like hold to fly, tap to drop. That's too much. How would that work? It feels like an up arrow for the first jump, 2 for when you're mid-air to show that. Love that idea. Double media, perfect. Double tap and then it turns to a jetpack when you hold it. Yes. A loading circle? Yeah, I was thinking some type of loading circle when you're because if you hold this down and then you let go right away, he'll exit, right? You have to hold it down for a certain amount of time for his jetpack to load, the booster to like ignite, and then after you've reached that time limit, you can let go and jump into this mode. But I do want to add some type of like circular loading thing. So as soon as you start holding the jump button, it will start loading, and then maybe like a charge up fiery thing to show you that it's fully charged. We might even have like a dust wave come out from the player, and then you'll know as the user, as the player, like now I can actually jump into jetpack mode and you let go. So yeah, it makes sense to me swapping the icon on this button from a jump icon to a jetpack icon. But what I haven't quite figured out yet is when you are in jetpack mode, you as the player need to know that if I hold down the jump button, he'll ascend, and if I tap it, he'll drop back to bottom. How do you do that? Is that even possible? Maybe it's not possible. Couldn't you cut it in half with an up arrow and hold for up and arrow down and just the tap word? So it's just 2 buttons basically. Cut it in half to 2 buttons. We could do that. I'm trying. It's tough finding that balance because already look how many buttons we have on screen. Now obviously it's not that big on a phone. So like if I show you the game on my phone, I'll show you what the buttons look like. See, like that's more of what it looks like on a phone. And obviously that looks a lot better than what you see below. But still, I'm trying to take up as little screen space as possible. There's a balance to it. So if I just keep adding more and more buttons, it's going to be too cluttered. So I'm trying to keep things as concise as possible, and that's a tough balance. Circle has a loading progress bar matching the animation time, and when it's held, the icon change. Yeah, we'll have to do something like that, I'm sure. Running the movements. Now this, yeah. So you were there for the Mocap streams. That's awesome. A one-time tip to tell them how it works when they first get here. Yeah, that's true. That's true. We are gonna have tutorial tips and tool tips and stuff in the game, so maybe I guess that's the solution. Yes. So Power Bros. So another aspect of this game is I haven't made the UI for this yet, but there are these collectible power-ups in this game. It's called Infinium. And so like if I break this car, for instance, I need to work on these animations. All this Infinium pops out and you collect this. And so the Infinium is what powers your weapons and also powers your jetpack. So you can't fly forever in this game. So if you're up here in hover mode, your Infinium will slowly descend. And my thinking is, I'll have to wait till I have the conversation with client, but my thinking is, if you're hovering around lightly, your Infinium depletes slowly. But if you fly significantly fast, then your Infinium depletes even faster. So that's what will kind of prevent players from just flying around all the time, which is what I really want to prevent, because if we just allow the player to fly around anytime and all the time, it's just too overpowered for this game. The level's too small to allow infinite flying. It's not like an open world full city game like a Spider-Man game or anything like that. So we really need to limit the flying in this game, and the Infinium power-ups will help with that. Thanks for the follow, Chrome Body and Sean, means a lot. It's grounded less than 5 seconds. Return after so long to unlock jetpack. If it's grounded less than 5 seconds, return after so long to unlock jetpack. Not quite following you. Make a jetpack looking loading screen that fills up when the jetpack is ready. Yes, yeah. When you're holding down the jump and it's loading up, yep, 100%. I'm really proud of this animation right here that I did in Blender. So, oh, I can't see the thing. You hold down jump, it kind of like. Let me actually pull that open in Blender. What Blender version was that? I think it was Blender 4.2. Trip weapons. Yeah, so here's the animation that I made in Blender. Let me go out of that. And I actually need to. So this is a perfectly fine animation for the movement aspect of it, but I do need to add some type of visual effect on the jetpack as well in the game, because it's supposed to be more. Because right now it kind of looks like Transformers, like the Transformers movies and stuff. And technically it's supposed to be more like Iron Man's nanotechnology with his suit kind of like a very, like dissolving onto him at a particle level. It's supposed to be more like that. So I think I'm going to keep this animation, but I'm going to additionally add some type of like dissolve effect in Unity that will kind of be like a extra effect thing on top of the animation. Okay, when Jetpack loading the loading screen, it fills up and Jetpack's ready. Yep. When it's held and loading, it's charged. Yep. Are you gonna have a tutorial in the beginning? Yes. So right here at the very beginning, actually I'm very far from the very beginning. I'll just teleport the player. Player armature. So right here, when you start this area right here, this basketball court, this is where you do the first tutorial. Or when you do the tutorial, sorry. Pedro will let you know. Yep. Can you use a joystick to control him instead of pressing the button? Yes. Yes, Alex. So right now you can use the joystick to run around. I'm just using the buttons on my keyboard because it's easier, because I'm not using mobile device right now, obviously. Figure it out once they play a lot of games with that. Yeah, you're totally right, Dot. I'm probably overthinking it, which I tend to do. So thanks for keeping me accountable on that. A little bit of smoke right before you launch. Yep, we're on the same page, Danny, 100%. Push to control instead of pressing the button. Like the height? Not really. So I thought about this. So let me show you this. So because you're not, it is a side scroller game, but because you can also go forwards and backwards a little bit. So joystick controls right, left, forward, or backwards and forwards. So you can't use this joystick to go up and down. You have to use this button right here to ascend up or to descend down. I thought about adding a second joystick on the right side that would control your up and down movement, but it felt a little too over the top for this simple game. So yeah, that's a lot for a phone game. Yeah, 100%. We're already getting there. Whoa. It's about to be fire. Thank you so much, ZRN. Characters aren't coming through. ZRN. Zabriante. You double tap the joystick and lift it up the jetpack. Double tap the joystick. That's a cool idea. Thanks for the follow, Wycow. Maybe where you can change the size of the buttons. Yeah, the whole UI system automatically changes size based on how big the screen of your phone is. Shaq Player, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Where am I getting it? This will be on both Google and Apple stores. Thanks for the follows, guys. Newbert and Zan Edits means a lot. How do you make this game with Unity Game Engine? Probably add a sound collection. Oh, 100%. Yeah, there are 0 sounds in this game. The only sound effect in this game is the footsteps. And that's only because they came with the default starter pack that Unity has for locomotion. But yeah, there's 0 sounds in this game, but I'll be adding all that soon. Thank you so much, Joey. That means a lot. Appreciate it. Yes, the jetpack will be super limited sound from the Infinium, like high-pitched sound. Yeah, I don't know what it'll sound like. I'll have to ask my client if he has any thoughts towards that. Thank you so much, Power Bros. I did not go to school for anything game design related. No, my background is actually in visual effects and 3D for movies and TV shows. I've been doing that. I've been doing freelance visual effects since 2015, so 11-ish years. I was able to start taking on game design contracts about 5 years ago. So now my work is split 50-50 between VFX and game design. Game passes and stuff. Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna do that. A lot of that's up to my client. But yeah, we'll see. New music made, I can make beats. Client just wants to get some music packs and stuff. He wants to save money on the music and sound effect stuff. So we'll just probably get packs for all that. I'm good, Jack Player. It hasn't been that long. I feel like I saw you a few weeks ago. Is there a smoke effect when you take off? Not yet, but I'm definitely gonna be adding all that. There's no VFX in this game yet, except for the car explosions and the hits, which are still very bare bones. Every time I hit that Infinium, it pops him up, and I think it's a collider layering issue that I need to fix. Player armature, let me see. Character controller, layer overrides. Include layers, nothing, exclude layers, player enemy, Infinium. There, that should fix that. It was only happening on the big Infinium. Let me go do another car. Or this guy. Actually, this might not have a big one in it. I can't figure out what it is, but for some reason, in Unity, in the Unity editor, it like lags every 15 seconds or so. It'll like do a hitch like that. Like, I don't know if you guys saw that or felt that, but it doesn't do that like in the builds. It's only in the Unity editor. I don't know what it is, but it like glitches every once in a while. I think that fixed it. So I just need to do exclude layers Infinium. So player armature, exclude layers, Infinium. Infinium have colliders? I didn't think the Infinium had colliders. Let me check that real quick. Infinium prefab. It does. Okay, box collider. Yeah. Rhyme Ghost, first time chat on Purple. Welcome. Thanks for joining the stream. Hey, thanks for the follow on Purple, Zevix. Yeah, so what I was saying before is there's no VFX in this game except for the comic book style explosions when you destroy cars and the little hits that you get from the staff hits. There is the cannon, so when you do fire, there is a little bit of effect right there. You can see it. It's like some little sparks, and when you hit a wall, there's a few sparks that come off, but it's like so bare bones. We need tons of VFX in this game that I still need to add. We've got to add like air/wind swooshes whenever his staff like hits. So like imagine his staff like going like that. You want to see like these like kind of white wind trails behind it. Cannon laser needs to look a lot better. It's very bare bones. Shield throw, I also would like to add some like wind swoosh stuff to it. Same thing with the enemies. Like, let me turn all the enemies on. I turn enemies on. Like some of them, if they spawn with a weapon, like a pew pew, like these guys, like they still have the same like laser style that the cannon has. Those need some work still. We need some more explosion stuff. I'd really like the bushes and stuff when you hit them for like little leaf particles to pop out. I think that'll be really cool. We need lots of VFX with the jetpack stuff. So we need some. Oh, that was a glitch. But yeah, we need lots of like dust and fire particles and stuff, all sorts of stuff. I also need to work. So currently the way that enemies approach the player is they'll run towards him until they reach him. That works for ground mode, but ever since I've implemented the jetpack mode, watch what happens now. So the shooting guys are fine because they will stop approaching you once they reach a far enough distance away, so that works. But like the running guys, see, look at that, he's stuck. He's trying to get as close to drip as possible, and so they just constantly run to your position. So I need to work on that for jetpack mode. I only just implemented the jetpack mode. I think it's so funny. I'm leaving it like this. The bad guys can shoot and hit their own guys. I think it's hilarious. But I need to make it so that if you're up in the, we need to do a lot of stuff for when you're up in the air. When you're up in the air, the enemies need to stop approaching you fully. So like these guys that don't have guns, like this guy, they're just constantly stuck running underneath you, which is terrible. We need to make it so that they stop a little bit further away from you, and then they look up at you. And same for the player too. Like the player needs to look down at nearby enemies, and they need to be able to talk with each other. We've already recorded the audio for this. We're gonna make it so that the enemy's like, "Hey, what are you doing up there? Come down in here, fight me like a man," or something like that. So I got to do the whole dialogue system and sound effects and all that. So there's a lot to do. A lot to do. And that guy back there is just constantly stuck stepping. What is he doing? And this guy's sliding. Why is he sliding around? See, look at this guy. Why is he stuck walking? Let's take a look at him. Goon. He has... If I turn this on, we'll be able to see where his walk point is. Is blue his walk point? It's like he has a walk point to set to, but he can't reach it, so he just constantly keeps moving. Where is his walk point? Walk point. I need to make a way to like re-choose a new walk point in the inspector, because here, I'll do this walk point set. It was that one, okay. And now he's close enough to player. He's gonna try to get the player, but he can't get through that, really? Why can't he get through that? That seems... Why is there a box? Is that a box collider? It's not the mesh collider. What is that around it? Is it the nav mesh obstacle? It is. It's the nav mesh obstacle. Okay. Yeah, so if I turn the nav mesh on... Oh, yeah, that's why. He's stuck back there. Okay. So if this car gets destroyed or if it gets moved, which it wouldn't get moved, there, that opens up the nav mesh. Okay. So yeah, I need to... So currently, the enemy that spawns back at this point gets stuck because he can't... There's no way to get past it unless a car gets destroyed. So yeah, I need to move that. I'm actually going to go ahead and move that right now. So let's do this. Let me look at this again. Car. Where is this car? This car. I'm going to move it ever so slightly just so we get... Actually, let me... That one's actually really big. Let me move that. Let me change the size of this obstacle size. Nope, not Y. Why are these not showing up in edit mode? Oh, because I don't have it. I'm instantiating that component at runtime. That's why. So I might need to make the cars instantiate with their nav mesh obstacle carves smaller than their default size. Sorry guys, I'll make a bunch of chat. In the dream, thanks Jason, means a lot. You can do it too. You can do it too. I mean, even if you can't get paid for doing stuff like this, you can do it on in your free time. You have to love what you do. If you love what you do and you get really good at it, you'll be able to make money from it, and you can do it. I believe in you. There are gonna be voice lines, like there can be a shop button. Voice lines and a shop button. Could you guys elaborate on that a little bit? Still a long time. Will it be multiplayer? No, no multiplayer in this. At least not yet. Depends on how far my client wants to take this game. We add a boss to the metro area. A boss inside the metro area? No, there will be these enemies in the metro area, but not the final bosses at the end of the level. Is there quests to earn coins or skill points to customize or upgrade your character? Upgrade your character? No. However, I really do want to integrate a achievement system in this game that just adds a little bit of extra playability to this game, because right now you beat all the bad guys, you fight the final boss at the end, and then you've beaten the level. Like that's we need more to the game. So I want to add like an achievement system to where it'll add multiple tasks, like destroy every item in the game. And so if you destroy every item in the game, then you get like an achievement for that. Or find the hidden graffiti in the metro area or something like that, and you go find it. And it checks that off on the achievement. Stuff like that I think would be fun, be cool to add to the game. I'm burnt out learning Unity, but whenever I see a stream, know if I get motivated to continue. Oh, that's awesome. Zivik. So what do you want to do? So you're getting burnt out learning Unity. What have you been trying to learn in Unity? Why do you think it's burning you out? I could offer some suggestions, but just like before I do that, let me know where you're at with game design. What have you been trying to learn? Looks so good, reminds me of Out of This World style of graphics. I haven't heard of Out of This World. What is that? But I appreciate it. That means a lot. What are these skins you can achieve? This is a very like, I don't want to say beta version of the game, but this is like the first, I don't even want to say draft because it's going to be a finished game. But essentially my client has only contracted me to make level 1 of this game, which matches up with comic book issue 1 of his comic book series. And he's doing this as kind of a test. He wants to first see how his community and how people respond to the game. And if they respond really well, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, if they respond really well, then he will be more inclined to continue development of the game and have me make level 2 to match up with comic book issue 2 and make level 3 and level 4 and then add more skins and stuff. Cause like there's other superheroes in his Tooland world and he wants to get those added, but it's just, it costs money. And so he's not gonna keep pouring money into this game if people don't play it, people don't like it. So download the game, play it, leave good reviews. Can you buy cars? No, not in this game. Donatello, that's hilarious. Yes, Eddie, I'm making a game for a client. Thanks for the follow, Lakuda. No balls to the metro area, nope. We're almost there, yes. Uni learning tutorials for now, and I'm also working on a side project when I'm slowly implementing things as I go. Yeah, I'd love to see it. Just post it in the Discord. I'll take a look. No, you can't download it yet. Soon, next few months. Okay, guys, I need to actually do some work on this, okay? So what I'm gonna work on now is, it's a little bit boring. Actually, let me do the less boring task on stream so you guys can enjoy yourselves more. But once you're here in rooftop mode, I did make Jetpack mode behave a little differently on rooftop mode because rooftop mode is more about jumping up from building to building and less about flying fast and horizontal. So Jetpack mode here, I left the jetpack staying on in rooftop mode, and you can just hold down jump and just ascend anytime you want. And then you let go and it descends. You can even do a double jump and then fly some more. I do need to rework his animation. It does look kind of weird that he's just, oh, it didn't do it there. He's just looking up like that when he ascends. But something I need to add in the game is when you're jumping rooftop to rooftop, if you fall below the rooftops, then you're out. You're knocked out. You're dead. Okay, so if you like fall right here, boom, his jetpack should run out and it should trigger a death animation or a death screen, loading screen. Because obviously we don't want the player to be able to come down here to ground level where nothing's done in the level design. Because this is what it looks like. This is the ground of the rooftop chase scene. So once we get back down to ground level here, then everything like starts working out again. But all this in between, like some of the buildings aren't even touching the ground. There's nothing down here. So, and the whole goal of this rooftop scene is to go from rooftop to rooftop. If you fall below, then you're out, you're dead. So I need to build some type of system, which I'm gonna do right now. This is the less boring task, mind you. So I'm gonna do that now so that you guys can at least enjoy some of it. The other task I was thinking about doing on stream is a much more boring task. And that is just continuing to work on the zoning. So if you look at the zoning is basically all these colliders that pretty much prohibit the player. Let me turn all these on so you can see what they look like. So these colliders prohibit the player from leaving the level, essentially. So the other task is just that, adding more of these, because I've gotten up to this point, but I need to add more at the whole rest of the level. And that's just basically adding boxes in, which is a really boring task, and you guys would hate that, I'm sure. So I'm gonna do the less boring task and figure out this death system. I don't think it'll be too hard, but we'll see. I've never done something like this before, but the pieces of this system I've done before, but yeah. I'm thinking the way we do this is in between each building, we put a box collider in between. If the player hits that box collider, then we transition to like a fade to black, and then we teleport the player back to the edge of the previous rooftop and then fade back in from black. It looks good in my head. I think that's how it should behave. But what do you guys think? Any ideas? Okay, Zvix, that sounds really cool. So I do have a suggestion. You might be getting burnt out because you might be doing a little too much for your first project, Zvix. My suggestion for people that are new to game dev is take on an extremely simple and small project, complete that, and then move on to something else. Because a lot of people, they try to take on too much right off the bat, and they get overwhelmed and get burnt out, and then eventually decide, I don't want to do this anymore. It's too hard. I don't want to do it. So I always push people to go try following a rollerball tutorial series on YouTube. There's tons of them out there. It'll be like a 10-part video series. Each video will be like 10 minutes long. You'll learn how to make a very simple rollerball game where you're just a little ball. You roll around a small area, collect 10 coins, and then a UI counter ticks up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way up to 10. And then it says, the end, you win, or something like that. So just make that, get that under your belt, build up that confidence, and then after that, tackle something slightly bigger, and then slightly bigger, and just keep working your way up like that. That's my suggestion. This New York City, Manhattan? No, it's not New York City. So this is a made up. This is the made up world called this. It's the city of Tooland. It's from the Tooland comic book series. Let me actually pull it up. So this is the comic book series called Tooland Comics, and they have their own world and everything. It's the name of this. So the name of the comic book series is Tooland, like two-land. But the name of the main city is Tooland, like Tuland, Tooland. So yeah, that's that. Heartstring episodes, comic books. If you've been to a Comic-Con recently, you've probably seen this guy. He's all over the place. Bro, you the typing? What do you mean the typing? Oh, Zvix, you actually did it? That's awesome. You type like the Flash? I had someone else mention that. I was sending a DM to someone in Discord, and I sent like a really long message, and the person wrote back and like, what is your typing speed? I saw that you were typing a message, and then like 2 seconds later, I received this really long paragraph from you. How do you type that fast? I actually checked my typing speed recently, but after that person mentioned that on Discord DMs, I checked my typing speed and it was like, I think it was 89 words per minute. I think it was, which apparently is above average. It's like, whoa, that's awesome. Okay, let's actually do this. So I think this is gonna, the idea I've had for this is gonna work. But anyone in here that's like, no, this is a terrible idea. Wow, the 89 words per minute. No, players can't get in the car. It's not that complex of a game. Maybe the character look towards the direction you move when you use the jetpack. Yes, that's a good idea too. I'd like to do that for sure. See cannon, I just showed that. I think you saw it. Good work, Yummers. Okay, that's everything. Okay. Yeah, so apparently like average, let me see. What is average typing? Yeah, so look at this. Can you guys see this? So this is typing speed numbers. So average user is 35 to 40, a good above average is 60 to 75, and professional high speed is 80 to 100. And when I tested myself a few weeks ago, I was at 89, which it's crazy. Is typing 120 words per minute fast? Oh my gosh. Yes, that's literally typing 2 words a second. How can someone type 120 words per minute? That's insane. Are there people that can actually do that? That's insane. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so we're gonna add a collider here. I don't want to put it in zoning. I want to put it in, not even in buildings or floors. I'm gonna make a new thing. Let's see. I'm gonna create another empty. Whoa. And I'm gonna call this empty. Literally have 0 viewers on YouTube. What is up with that? Okay, I'm gonna call this building drops. Building drops, sure, that works. Layer default, and then inside building drops, I'm gonna put these cubes. I'm gonna steal one from zoning. Actually, I'll just make a new one. Okay, so your object cube. That cube is not where it should be, obviously, never is. Let's move it over here. I'm just gonna make one for now to test it out and build the system first, and then once I've confirmed it works nicely, then I'll add all the extras for the other rooftops. Okay, so the way we're gonna do this is we need to make this big enough to cover the whole gap, and we need to bring it like that. Feels about low enough. Okay, and then let's do that. That's wide enough. Or sorry, long enough, and then wide. Okay, so there's our collider. So if the player hits that collider, it'll fade to black and you'll get teleported back to that spot. And that's just going to be a trigger, so is trigger. Well, I think, how am I handling the zoning ones? I think those are triggers. No, they're not. I'm probably doing on collider enter and not on trigger enter. Okay, so building drops, cube. I can turn the mesh renderer off. Actually, I'll leave it on for now. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and put the player up on the building so I don't have to fly up there every single time to test this. I'm gonna go ahead and put him right. I'm gonna put him even on the ledge too. Okay. That works for testing. Okay, let's go ahead and play this and just, obviously nothing's gonna happen, but let's just make sure everything's in place. What's the name of the thing you made? This is called Stream Focus. Thanks for asking, Rossi. This is called Stream Focus. Boosh. Oh, I'm surprised he didn't actually stop. I would have expected him to stop. I mean, it's good. I don't want him to stop, but why isn't it stopping? Oh, because I said it is trigger. That's why. Turn off. Now it'll actually work. Stenographers are a different breed. They type at 200. There's no way. There's no way. That's not a thing. I don't believe it. I do not believe it. Stenographer, whatever the heck that is. Stenographer typing speed. There's no way. I don't believe that. Typically type between 225 and 360 words per minute. There's no way. There's no way. Top speeds can reach up to 375. World record 370. I've got to look up a video of someone typing that fast. Typing speed world record video. I don't believe this. I'm not gonna believe it till I see it. There's no way. There's no way.
Most scup 300 ever.
Why does he keep stopping? I don't understand. I'm gonna try to talk as fast as he's typing, okay? From the few overhouse it seems to me for like somebody the home people and will not leave the home through the whole never who open lines with group men there where one should know what around since person we can keep typing. He's typing faster than I can even talk. Another large, not early, it went only between maybe combination late. How? Okay, I thought my 89 was good. And technically 89 is like professional level. If 89 is professional level and this dude's typing at 300, that's an alien. That's just aliens. That's not even human. I don't understand. How is that possible? Does anyone in the chat know what your own typing speed is? No, it's not free yet, Rossi. It will be soon, hopefully, though. Caption the core stuff. Oh yeah. I figured. I know, like, the people that do the typing the fastest, like, those are the types of jobs they're doing when they're like writing stuff for like court cases and stuff. I know, I can't even read that fast. Man, like 25 terrible. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so we get here. Yep, we land. Okay. So we do need to actually make this. So we need to turn it off, the mesh render, so it's invisible, and then is trigger. Okay. So let's turn that off, is trigger, and then on this cube, we're gonna add a new script and we're gonna call it building drop death. Sounds reasonable. 70, that's good. 60 when I type with full accuracy, but higher when I make more mistakes. Yeah, and I mean, when I did the 89 test, like I made a few mistakes. Like I don't know what my score would be if I was shooting for like perfection. I don't know. I just did the test and even made mistakes and would like backspace and correct myself, and it just told me 89. Okay, so we've got our building drop death. Let's open that up. So we've got a trigger. We're probably just gonna do on trigger enter. I'll check my other code. Whoa. Building drop death. Here we go. Okay. Don't care. Okay. So let's see. On trigger enter. Collider other if player, assuming player has a method called dynamic leech. No, I don't even need to do that. I really just want to, here's what I need to do. For each building drop collider, I also want that collider to have a point that we teleport the player back to. That seems the easiest way to do it. So I'm gonna do private transform teleport point. Okay. And then on awake, we're gonna get that point, teleport. No, wait. Yeah, teleport point equals transform child, get child 0. I'm only gonna have one child per box. Get child 0. Yeah, that's it. And then boom, if other is player, then other transform position equals. Yeah, that's it. So if the player hits this box, then this script will send the player back to the teleport point. So now I just need to make that teleport point. And in this cube, I'm going to create an empty object, and we'll call this teleport point. The script will automatically retrieve that on awake. And I just need to set this point. Wait, not that, not the cube. Teleport point. Just set this cube somewhere back on the ledge, and then I'll just have to do that for each one. Now, I'm actually not sure how they typically do this in games. Like when I imagine it's something like this. In most games that I've played, they probably do something like the last ground. Like what games probably do is they keep track of your last known ground location, and then they teleport you back to that ground location. I could do that. It's a little bit more complex than the system I'm building right now. I like this better because this way it will always teleport the player back to a spot that I have vetted, right? Because if at one point the player was like standing on this corner and that was their last ground point, and then they fell down here, they would get teleported back to that last point, which would be the corner. There might, for whatever reason, be glitches with that or something. I don't know. So I'm just going to do here. So this way, anytime the player falls down anywhere in between these two buildings, they're always going to teleport back to the same point on the ledge. That makes sense to me in my head. I don't know why that would be a problem. But yeah, this should work. When the character collides with the trigger of this box right here, then the script on that box will send the player back to the position of the teleport point, which is the child. And right now the cube child is that, which we've set here. That should work perfectly. Let's try it out. This is C#, Nicholas. No problem, Zevlex. Hope you have a great day. Okay, here we go. Well, that didn't work at all. It's always the famous last words. This should work perfectly. Doesn't work at all. Something's happening here. We're using on. Wait, did I turn trigger? No, we still have trigger on. Let's see. Building drops. Cube. The player. Is it because the character controller is include layers default? Let me just try that real quick. Huh. Oh, I bet I know it's. I bet this script is competing with the player script, which handles transform stuff. Interesting. Because I bet we're still hitting it. Let me put a debug here. So we'll get a message in the console if this part of the script is even running. Yeah, player entered the drop death zone, teleporting to save point. Okay, so if that hits the console, then we're definitely hitting this part of the script. It's just not teleporting. Let's check. Play. We'll check our console. What's the adject? I assume you mean the objective of this game. It's just like any of the old retro side-scroller games like Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, Streets of Rage, Street Fighter. It's a side-scroller game. You work your way from the left of the level all the way to the right, fighting bad guys in between, and then beating the final boss at the end. So it's a beat-em-up style superhero game. Boom, we hit the console. Player entered the building drop death zone. So we're entering it, we're just not teleporting. And I'm guessing we're not teleporting because this line right here is competing. Their transform position, teleport point, is competing with the player's movement script. And plus, are there any other things in here that are labeled player layer? Yes. And it's actually not a good way that I'm doing it. What I need to do is I need to reference the actual player. So let's do this. If we do collide with the the tag player, then let's actually do drip character controller instance transform position equals that. Let's try that. Now it's going to actually transform the position of this root because that has the character controller script. If that doesn't work, then I might have to make this collider script talk to the player movement script and then tell it to move within that. Let's try this. Yep, it's not working. Shoot. Shoot. I was hoping it would be super simple. Okay. Let me make this public, or let me look at one more time and see if we're actually getting the child. Is Rampage the old bus right now that you can fight? Hey, thanks for the follows, Yarin. What do you mean by that? Is that items? Hey, it's been a while since I've seen you last time you were doing animation for the character. What's up? How's it going, Crispy? On the correction large reveals. Yeah, the motion capture. Yeah. You saw the motion capture for the player or for the final boss? I mean, is Rampage the only boss that you can find in level 1? Yes. Rampage is the only boss in level 1. Wait, did that just work? I think that worked. Sort of. It like glitch worked. Did you guys see that? Wait, hold on. It thinks that that's the ground. The player thinks that's the ground because in my player move script, the ground layers are default enemy damageable object floor buildings rampage. So what we should do is, what if I make this 70. Seven horror that we grew. What do people want to make? You're working on a horror game, and now there's 14 people working on it. Is that like all just volunteer, fun, hobby stuff, or are all you guys paid for it somehow? Okay, I don't understand. I still assume that this is competing with the movement script. I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna try turning off the player movement script mid-game. Ready for this? Whoa, what happened there? Okay. I think this is gonna break everything, but we'll at least be able to see. Oh, he's stuck. Okay, let's do this. Let's move him manually. Yeah, now it's working. Okay. So yeah, 100%. It's competing with the player script. So I need to do this. Let's see. Back to cube. Put us back to default. That shouldn't be an issue. It's object only. That shouldn't be an issue. Nothing. All that's good. Okay. So I need to go to the character controller and see where we're moving. Let's go to move. At the very bottom is where we're finally setting the final position. Controller move. What if we just did this? Seems a lot easier. What if when we collide with the player, what if we just first turn off the script? This might be a very dangerous thing to do. Drip character controller. Instance. Enabled false. So turn the script off, then teleport the player, and then turn him back on. That seems very, very janky, but it might be what we have to do. That's a bad idea. That's a bad idea to do that. This is a bad idea. That's so sketchy. That's so janky. Passion project, hope we win release to create a fan base where we can. That's awesome. Over next year for release, but it will be free for public. That's awesome. I love it. Make sure you make a lot of social media posts, shorts, reels, all sorts of stuff. Oh my gosh, didn't work. Okay, fine. Let's do this. Let's do using system collections and then private enumerator delayed teleport. Doop. Doop. Start coroutine, delay teleport. Okay. And then turn him off. Wait a second. No. Turn him off. Teleport him. Wait a second. Turn it back on. See, that works. Actually, I might should wait a second before we teleport him. I can never this coding, dude. It worked. Yes. He looks terrible, but it's working. So you fall down here, boop. Okay. Obviously, a few different things we need to do here. I'm still not sold on this method. I do think we should tell the player scripts to stop moving instead of just turning the player script off. Seems like a very bad idea. Especially because in the player script, we're keeping track of different stuff. And if we turn it off and back on, we might lose track of stuff. And that's probably a very bad idea. Let me look at the player script real quick. Controller, move. Let me try this. I've never done this before. Instance, move. How am I doing here? Capital move. Is that a private? That's a character controller thing. Oh, controller move. Whoopsie. And that is private. Okay. Controller. Public. Controller. Move. No, I don't want to do that. I want to move to... Move isn't a transform position. Move is doing something else. Wait, what? Where did we go? Yeah, that's not a teleport. I'm gonna leave it like this for now. I'll work out the movement later. What I really need to do though is I need to, first of all, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, let's see. When we hit the collider, I want to wait a few seconds. I want the character to look like they continue to fall to the ground, but I want the camera to stop. I don't want the camera to keep following the player, right? So you'll return to wait for seconds. 1, 2, 3. I'll do 2 seconds. So we wait for 2 seconds. Then turn it off, then teleport him back. That seems fine. I do need to disconnect the camera somehow, though. That's what we need to do next. Or what I could do is... Yes, this is easy. All I got to do is make this jetpack cover camera, use the Cinemachine decollider, and terrain layer will be... I'm gonna make a new layer for the building drop zones. Cube, let's see, layer, add layer, building drop zones. What did I call that? Building drop death. Building drop. Cube. Building, I'll say building drop zones, that's fine. Building drop death zones, building drop death zones. Okay, and then just cube, make it that layer, building drop death zones, okay. This object only. And then what I can do is this camera, whenever it hits that layer, it will stop. I just need to make sure that that layer is wide enough to reach the camera. So I'm just gonna make it super wide. Wrong way, wrong way. Right there. Now when the camera goes down, it should collide with that and then stop. Let's see what that looks like. So not working at all. Okay, it's fantastic. Oh, I know why. It's not working because the collider is a trigger. So if I turned that off, it would work. But the player's not gonna work. Yeah. Okay, well, another thing we could do is... the script on the cube could tell the jetpack hover camera to stop tracking the player. Drip character controller instance jetpack hover camera. What is that? That's a game object. So get component Cinemachine camera. It's hard to see full width. I need to send this out. I try to keep it not super wide for you guys so vertical streams can see this, but I need to change this. Target, is it target? Tracking target, maybe that is, no, it is target, okay. Target equals null. No, that doesn't work. What is that tracking and look at targets for this camera? Okay, well, how do you set it? a clear thing? Clear. Tracking target. Okay. Equals no? Yes. Okay. Let's try that. So when we hit the collider, it will tell the jetpack cover camera to stop tracking with the player. Let's see what that looks like. Ready to tell transform and teleport location? Yeah, probably will do that. We'll see. Okay. Hover camera. Let's see if it actually changes. Tracking target none, but it's still following the player? Why is it? Oh, I'm on the wrong camera. I'm on the wrong camera. It should be on. Oh, because I started the player up there, the camera didn't switch properly. Because once you actually get up here the correct way, then the camera's on the right way. Oh, no, it's not. Yeah, it is. Oh, only when you're flying. Okay. Okay, fine, when I'm flying. There we go. Yes, that's what I want. That's what I want. It's a little too sudden, though. Okay, and then we need to... So, after Drip teleports back up there, then we can track him again. Tracking target equals, and what am I setting? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What am I setting it to? It is player camera camera root. Well, let's do this. Let's just keep track of it. Private transform player camera. What's happening? What's happening? Tracking target awake. Give tracking target equals jetpack cover camera. Yes, yes, yep, that's it. And then all I have to do is clear it and then equals game track target. Boom. Okay. Should work. Let's see what we got. You ever do coding? Yes, you could. How long did it take to learn the terminology of coding? What do you mean the terminology of coding? Okay, so we're up in hover camera. Nope. It's because I'm on the wrong camera. I need to figure out a different way to do that. This is too. Okay, so now it'll work if I hover and boom, and then it goes back. It didn't set the tracking target. Missing reference exception. Missing reference exception. On the cube. Oh. We need to do this all this on start because a lot of the stuff for the character script is happening in awake, and sometimes the awake portion of scripts will not happen in the order that you want them to. So start comes after awake. So I'm gonna change this to start. So all this stuff happens at start, which is fine. And then it should work. So we just need the stuff in the cube script to load after all the player stuff. And that should work. Famous last words. Back in jetpack mode. I need to rework this camera stuff. And down, teleport. Yes. What is happening? Off, turning back on. Why is it teleporting the player there? It should be teleporting him back to this spot. Wait, why did the teleport point get moved back to here? What? Oh, I'm a dummy. When I changed the scale of this guy, that changed the position of this. The child, which makes... Actually, that doesn't make sense. Why would that happen? If I change this back... Wait. Yeah, that fixed it. Okay. So if you change the scale of a parent, it changes the position of a child. I guess that makes sense. Okay, so let's bring that back and then just move the teleport point back. Okay. My bad. Okay, there we go. Teleport point is good. Now it should work. Famous last words. And drop. Oh, I did it again. Okay. Gotta be in jetpack mode. Gotta be hovering. Hands off. Perfect. Yes, it works. Perfect. Nice. Now we need to fade to black and then fade back in. And we also need to make the character fall. So switch into his fall animation. So we should be able to do that simply by doing say simply. Switching jetpack off. I need an actual falling animation. We don't have one of those. Let's see. I need like a like one of those. I think there's one in the starter pack I could use. I could just use that. Let's do this. Let's change the animation parameter of jetpack to off and see where that gets us. So as soon as we hit, we need to do drip character controller instance. Jetpack. Copy that. Is that private? Yeah, it is. Oh my gosh, there's so many. Public. Okay, now animator set bool jetpack to false. Let's see where that gets us. I'm not sure how we're gonna do the fade in, fade out yet. For the black, so I can do it the same way I'm doing the cinematic bars. Okay, here we go. Moment of truth. Yep, he's falling. Awesome. Jetpack off. I need to make him fall faster though. He's actually not falling. He's still in jetpack mode. Yeah. So let's see. Let's actually look at our parameters here, or look at player. Yeah, we definitely need to do this in a much cleaner way. I'm gonna have to work through this off stream because it's gonna be boring stuff. Let's go ahead and get the fade in for the screen going for sure. Canvas, cinematic bars, but we're actually just gonna do a black screen. So I'm gonna make a UI image, and this is going to be black screen. This will be dead center, but also stretched all the way out. Change this to black. There's our black screen. And then to fade it, we're gonna do a canvas group, and then we can just fade the alpha. Nice. Look at that. So easy. Okay. So then to do this, I'm going to do a new script. I'm gonna do this alpha. Actually, I'm just gonna turn it off. And then I'm gonna add a script. Black screen. Matthew, what's up? How's it going? Right now I'm working on this video game for a client, and I'm making it so that when you're jumping from rooftop to rooftop, if you fall through in between two buildings and you don't make it, it will do like a death thing for the player. Like the camera stops moving, it doesn't, the player falls down, camera stops, and then the screen fades to black. Player gets teleported back up to the previous ledge and then fades back in from black. So that's what I'm working on right now. So black screen, first we need to make this an instance. Private instance. No, private black screen instance. On start, instance this. And then what we can do is also get the canvas group, private canvas group. Canvas group. And then on start, get that, yep, get that canvas group, perfect. And then public void fade to black is no. Canvas group alpha. No, wait, let's use DG20 for that. Using DG, DG tweening. DG tween alpha of canvas group to 1 over 1 second. That works. Okay. Canvas group do fade. Yep. There we go. And then fade out. No. Yeah. Fade out to black. public void fade in from black. Canvas group do fade 0 over the course of 1 second. Yep, we're almost done. Just double check this. So instance this, canvas group equals that. So we can call this fade out to black and then fade in from black. But I also need to set it off and on. Technically we don't need to do this, but I'm gonna do it just in case. So first, when we fade out to black, we need to this enabled true. Can I just get rid of that? I'm gonna say this. It's better readability for me. Fade in from black. No. If it's off to start off with. First, we need to canvas group alpha, set it to 0, then turn the whole thing on, then fade it up to 1. That's the fade out to black. It's a little confusing. Fade in from black. We're going from full black to nothing. So we need to fade it out to 0. And then on complete, turn it off. That's perfect. And that should work. Pretty sure. Oh, but then I need to call that from the other script, building drop death. So let's wait 2 seconds. And then black screen instance. Fade. Did I do this wrong? I think I did this wrong. I never get the instances right. I can never remember the terminology for it. Static, public static, that's right. Public static black screen instance. Okay. Now this should show up in. Yes, that's how it's working. Instance fade. No, what's happening? Why is it? What? Oh, I didn't uppercase it. That's why. There we go. My bad. Instance fade out to black. Yes. What? I don't understand. Is inaccessible? Black screen dot instance is inaccessible. That's gotta be public. Gosh, I'm a dummy. I'm a dummy. Public. Okay. Black screen instance load. There we go. Fade out to black. Then, after all this, after player has been reset, then black screen instance fade in from black. Boom, baby. Let's play that. That should work. Gato, what's up? I lost your name. Sorry about that, Gato. Gotta be better. Gotta be better, Gato. Just joking, Gato. You are all good. Hope you're having a great day today. Okay. Let's do this. Come on. Okay, here we go. Okay, so jetpack mode. And then get back into hover mode, and then fall through the buildings, switch to fall, fade to black. Fade to black. It's not fading to black. Object reference not set to it. Oh, I didn't set the thing. Duh. No, wait, hold on. Oh, because black screen is off by default. That's why. So I need to turn it on. Shoot. Okay, we'll just leave it on all the time with alpha 0. Let's do that. And I don't have to worry about all this stuff with turning it on and off, on and off. Let's just do that. I was trying to be extra, but it bit me in the butt being extra, so I'll just not be extra. There we go. Oh, there we go. There we go. That should work. Now black screen is on all the time. But alpha set to 0. We're golden. Play. Have a new phone too. Nice. What phone did you get? Hope I didn't miss much. Oh, you missed so much. Gato, it's over. Like you have so much catching up to do that. Why am I stuck? Why can't I jump? Oh, the black screen is blocking raycast. Okay, fix that. That's why. So the black screen is blocking raycast, so just turn that off. Good. Which that actually poses an issue. When it fades to black, now you'll be able to push buttons, which you shouldn't be allowed to do, I don't think. I've never done something like this before, so I'm not actually sure like how it's typically handled in games to do stuff like this. So I'm just trying to figure out where I go. What's jetpack mode? Oh yeah, this is jetpack mode. I'll show you in a second. Okay. Fall, fade to black. Yes, teleport, fade back in. It works. Yes. Oh, that looks so good. It's like a real game, guys. It looks like a real game. Let's go. It looks like a real game. Fade to black. Just need to make him fall faster. Teleport, fade back in. Oh yes, let's go, dude. Let's go. It's like Flappy Bird. Yeah, no. Okay, so here's jetpack mode. Let me show you. So forget what you've seen so far. Okay, here it is. Here's jetpack mode. So, whoa. So did you see the new jump system before, Gato? It is a real game, yes. It's just so exciting though, because I feel like an imposter all the time. Like, yes, technically I'm making a game, but I don't know, the moments where it actually feels like other games you've played, those are the really satisfying moments, because I feel like an imposter making this, because like I've never made a game before that's been released. So yeah, I don't know, it's just, I don't know. So jump, that was our default jump, but now when you run and jump, it does a flip, and when you run and double jump, he does a flip, and then he floor rolls, ground rolls whenever you get significant air time and then land. So if you're up here and you jump off, boop, he will ground roll, which is nice. Jetpack mode, you hold down the jump button, his jetpack transforms onto him, boost, and then you let go of jetpack mode, or let go of jump, he'll jump up in the air and then hover. And then that frees up your right thumb to be able to use your weapons, and your left thumb can then hover around, and then you can fight the bad guys while you're in hover mode. And if you want to, you can ascend higher by holding jump and let go of jump, and that will descend back down to the default hover mode. Tap jump again, drop back down to the ground. And then you can also fly super fast. Not sure if this will be in the actual game or not yet. I'm gonna have a conversation with the client later on whether we'll actually allow full-on flying, but it's fun. And you can go higher and go lower. It's just a lot of fun. So that's jetpack mode. You need to make a splash, a water splash when you land in the water. That'll be cool. Ooh, that was a glitch. The jetpack fire's still on. I think that's because jetpack. Where is the fire? Fire. Where is the fire? There it is. It's because we're emitting too much. Let's see, how much are we emitting? Oh, particles down there, 17. It's not doing it now. Wonder, like, for some reason there was like a buildup of particles, but now it's not doing it. I don't know. Let's do that. Sorry, Gato. Yeah, Superman, basically. Still needs a little bit of work, but it's getting there. And then up here, I'm working on, so if you fall through in between buildings, then he'll teleport back to this spot and fade out to black, kind of like a death thing in games. Yeah, and that didn't work either. Okay, so. So here it is. You hover and then you fall through. Falling, fade to black. Nice. I feel like the fade is too fast. I need to fade out and then wait. So we need to fade out to black. Fade in from, or wait a second. You'll return, you wait for second one, and then fade in. Feels about right. Let's try it out. Hover. Fade black. Wait a second. Nice. It's a little long. Like, it doesn't even need to be that long. I'm only doing it for a dramatic effect, right? It's not even that we need to load anything. A lot of times games do a fade to black because they need to load assets and stuff, but we don't need to load anything. Everything's already loaded. I also need to bring up some text like, I did it again. Like you died or something like that. That feels like a good time. Half a second. But we do want to say, like, let's just try it. Let's throw out some text, see what that looks like. Black screen. Alpha 1. UI text. You did. You died. I don't know. What should it say? I have no idea. You know, I don't think I want to say anything. I think we'll do it. We'll do it with the audio. I think maybe his watches that speak to you throughout the game could say like, say something, I don't know. Or maybe the player could say, that was unfortunate. I don't know, something like that. Yeah, I think we're gonna do that. Let's do that. I'm not gonna do anything there. Okay. You did. Yes. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go. That's it for me for today. I'm gonna go eat lunch and then get back to it. I have another contract I'm working on for VFX, so I need to work on that too. I'm super busy these next few weeks with this and with another project. So I'm gonna try to get as many streams as I can in when I can on this game, but I'm not gonna be able to do as many as I wish that I could, unfortunately. I'll do my best, and hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Metal Gear, what does Metal Gear do? What does the Metal Gear say? But guys, thanks for joining those who are here on TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube, guys. Appreciate it. I'll see you, Gato. See you, Elizabeth. And anyone else who is here that I don't see in chat right now. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.